Well then, that was an absolute ass-kicking. The Florida Panthers just completely obliterated the Edmonton Oilers in Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals by a score of 6-1, taking a 2-1 series lead. It was the first game of the series not to go to overtime and the first game of the series not to be decided by one goal, and what made this particularly unique is not just how one-sided it was, but just how quickly everything spiraled out of control for the Edmonton Oilers. It goes beyond the scoreboard. They were outclassed in just about every aspect of the game, and as a result, by the end, this game had degenerated into a schoolyard rock fight, complete with the refs serving the role of teachers on a smoke break while the kids completely obliterate each other. It got ugly fast for the Edmonton Oilers. Evander Kane was ejected after having a forgettable night, 0 points, 16 penalty minutes, and a -2. Kasperi Kapanen also ejected from the game and got into an altercation with a fan after a drink was apparently thrown on him. A line brawl midway through the third that included guys like Darnell Nurse, Matthias Ekholm, and Trent Frederick all getting tossed as well. I mean, at one point, the Edmonton Oilers had as many players in the penalty box as they did on the ice, as they were facing a 5-on-3 with 3 guys in the box. But the biggest point that I have to make is that for the Edmonton Oilers, this is not the kind of game that you can let the Florida Panthers get you into. You want to be in a position where you're letting your skilled players, your McDavids, your Draisaitl's, Bouchard, Perry, Nugent-Hopkins when he's healthy, let them create in space. Don't get into those brawls, because Florida just has so many guys who can play not only on the offensive foot, but with the edge. Guys like Sam Bennett, who's having a great series, Brad Marchand, who continues to agitate and put points on the board, and Matthew Tkachuk, who yes is injured and isn't as effective, but plays with that same edge and snarl as the other two. Instead, the Oilers are giving the Panthers the kind of game that they would love to be in, and the result is a predictable ass-kicking. Another aspect that went against the Edmonton Oilers tonight is that Stuart Skinner once again got exposed and got pulled in the third period of this game for Calvin Pickard, giving rise to another goalie controversy going into Game 4. Now, I want to be clear, this loss was not on Stuart Skinner. He played pretty well. There were only a few goals that I think were really on him, and I would say the biggest fault of his was not making a big save as momentum had shifted after the Oilers got within 1. A lot of the goals he let up were absolute snipes by the Florida Panthers, who were on the power play constantly throughout this game. Nevertheless, he did get pulled, and now there's a goalie controversy going into Game 4, exactly what the Edmonton Oilers did not want in a game that is becoming increasingly looking like a must-win. Because losing your composure in the Stanley Cup Finals is a bad look for a team that has been there before and came into the series with unfinished business from last year. They look like a team that hasn't been here before. They're chasing, letting their emotions get the best of them, and quite frankly, letting the Florida Panthers get into their heads. Still plenty of time and chances for the Edmonton Oilers to recover, but if they don't get their heads on straight, this is going to be an even worse showing than it was last year.